What if I told you that some of the most important decisions of your life could change with just a few lines written thousands of years ago? There's a book, accessible to everyone, that many overlook while searching for answers in gurus, social media, or fleeting philosophies. That book is Proverbs, and its content doesn't age. It's living wisdom directly from God, capable of bringing direction, inner peace, healthy relationships, and a clear mind amid the noise of the world. Before we begin, give this video a like and subscribe, because what you're about to receive today could mark a turning point in your life. These aren't motivational quotes. These are eternal principles that have transformed generations. Type in the comments, "I want to walk in wisdom," if you're ready to apply these 30 lessons to your daily life. First lesson: wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. Proverbs 1-7 reveals, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge." But this isn't about being afraid. It's about reverence, a deep, conscious respect that acknowledges God as the ultimate source of understanding. Those who fear the Lord don't run from Him. They draw near with humility. That posture opens the heart to divine counsel. When we put God at the center, everything else falls into place. That's where true wisdom begins to blossom in every decision. Second lesson: listening is wiser than speaking. We live surrounded by noise. Everyone wants to be heard, but few know how to listen. Proverbs 18:13 says, "To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. The wise know when to remain silent." Listening is not passivity, it is discernment. It's understanding before judging, giving space for others before imposing your voice. In attentive silence, understanding is sown, and from it grows a just response. Deep listening is a spiritual art. Third lesson: wisdom prolongs life and brings peace. Proverbs 3:2 says it like this, "For they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity." This is not a magic promise, but a natural result. Wise choices keep us away from danger, reduce stress, and nurture harmonious relationships. To live wisely is to live with purpose, and purpose brings balance. Peace cannot be bought or forced. It is built from within, and wisdom is its chief architect. Fourth lesson: pride comes before the fall. Proverbs 16:18 warns, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." Pride makes us feel self-sufficient. It closes us off from advice and distances us from correction. But the wise acknowledge their limits, accept guidance, and learn from mistakes. Humility is not weakness, it is strength channeled wisely. Those who humble themselves grow, those who exalt themselves end up alone. Wisdom lives in hearts willing to bow. Fifth lesson: a gentle answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1 tells us, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." How many arguments begin not because of a different opinion, but because of the wrong tone? Responding with kindness is like diffusing a bomb before it explodes. We can't always control what others say, but we can control how we respond. Wisdom is shown through self-control and emotional balance. A word can wound or heal, and the wise always choose to heal. Sixth lesson: walk with the wise and you will become wise. Proverbs 13:20 teaches, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." We are not immune to our surroundings. Friendships influence our decisions, our worldview, and even our faith. Those who surround themselves with wise people absorb wisdom. Those who walk with the reckless inherit their consequences. Wisdom is also collective. It grows in community. Choosing who we walk with is a spiritual decision. Seventh lesson: honesty pleases God. Proverbs 12:22 declares, "The Lord detests lying lips, but He delights in people who are trustworthy." Living with integrity is an act of worship. In a world where lies are disguised as cleverness, the honest shine with a light of their own. Wisdom doesn't seek shortcuts, it seeks the straight path, even when it's harder. Truth builds relationships, establishes trust, and brings peace to the soul. Being truthful is not a tactic, it is an eternal principle. Eighth lesson: words hold the power of life and death. Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Every word we speak is a seed. It can blossom into blessing or destruction. We don't speak into a void, we speak into hearts. Wisdom is about using our words as instruments of edification. The wise think before speaking. The tongue can wound more than a sword or heal more than medicine. What are we choosing to plant with it? Ninth lesson, diligent work brings reward. In Proverbs 12:11 we read, "Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense." Wisdom rejects laziness and embraces responsibility. It's not about working out of greed but out of purpose. Honest labor dignifies the soul, strengthens character, and opens doors. The reward is not just financial, it is spiritual. Those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with more. Those who work diligently honor God with their hands. 10th lesson, trusting in God brings security. Proverbs 3:5-6 advises, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." In times of uncertainty, wisdom doesn't ask us to have all the answers. It asks us to hold on to one truth: God leads. Trusting doesn't mean denying reality. It means resting in the one who sees beyond it. The wise surrender their paths, knowing that peace doesn't come from control but from faith. 11th lesson, a joyful heart is medicine for the soul. Proverbs 17:22 reminds us, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Wisdom doesn't ignore suffering, but it knows that joy doesn't depend on circumstances. A joyful spirit strengthens the body, renews the mind, and soothes the soul. True joy is born from a life in communion with God. The one who trusts smiles, the one who believes sings, the one who understands rejoices. Even in the storm there is purpose. 12th lesson, you reap what you sow. Proverbs 22:8 affirms, "Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity." This spiritual law is universal. Every action echoes. The wise do not sow by impulse but by conviction. They know that justice yields peace, compassion brings blessing, and selfishness returns emptiness. There is no harvest without sowing, and no sowing without a decision. Choosing well today ensures a good harvest tomorrow. God cannot be mocked. What we sow, we will also reap. 13th lesson, God directs our steps. Proverbs 16:9 declares, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." We make plans, dream, and design our paths, but the wise do not cling to their agenda. They consult, wait, and allow themselves to be corrected by God. Even when we don't understand every detour, we know His hand is guiding us. Peace is not in knowing the destination, but in trusting the one who leads us. It's not about control, it's about obedience. 14th lesson, wisdom is worth more than gold. Proverbs 16:16 makes it clear, how much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. The world chases wealth but forgets that gold can't buy peace, save a marriage, or guide a decision. Wisdom, however, is an eternal treasure. Those who possess it know how to live. The wise value knowledge, not out of pride, but for spiritual usefulness, because more important than having much is knowing how to use what you have. 15th lesson, evil complicates life, righteousness enriches it. Proverbs 13:21 reminds us, trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. Every choice brings a consequence. The wise understand that living outside of God's will is not just a spiritual mistake, but a practical trap. Sin entangles, delays, and divides. Righteousness, on the other hand, clears the path and attracts blessing. It's not about being perfect, it's about having a right heart. God honors those who choose what is right, even when it costs more. 16th lesson, patience is a powerful virtue. Proverbs 19:11 teaches, a person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Waiting, forgiving, holding back the impulse, that's not weakness, that's active wisdom. The wise don't respond with violence but with calm. Patience allows us to take emotional distance, see more clearly, and act with prudence. When we choose not to react immediately, we gain self-control, and with it, peace, respect, and balance. 17th lesson, the lazy will never prosper. Proverbs 10:4 states, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." The wise don't settle for excuses. They understand that consistent effort is an expression of faith. Working diligently is not just an economic issue, it is spiritual. It means honoring God with your time, your gifts, and your responsibility. Laziness steals opportunities, but perseverance multiplies them. Success doesn't fall from the sky, it is cultivated with faithfulness. 18th lesson, avoid the company of the wicked. Proverbs 4:14-15 warns, "Do not set foot on the path of the wicked. Avoid it, do not travel on it." The wise carefully choose who they walk with, not out of prejudice, but for protection. Bad company corrupts good habits, leads to reckless decisions, and pulls us away from God's purpose. Staying away from evil is a daily decision. Good intentions are not enough. We must build an environment that fosters spiritual growth. 19th lesson, faith without action is empty. Though this principle is emphasized in the New Testament, Proverbs 14:23 already declares it. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. It's not enough to talk about faith. Wisdom demands coherence. Every belief must be accompanied by corresponding action. To say we trust God but live in fear and disobedience is a contradiction. The wise live what they preach. Their faith is visible in their choices, in their work, and in how they treat others. 20th lesson, the righteous are generous by nature. Proverbs 21:26 affirms, "The righteous give without sparing." Generosity doesn't come from abundance, it comes from character. Those who have received God's grace cannot close their hearts to the needs of others. Sharing is part of practical wisdom. The wise know that giving doesn't impoverish. It connects them to divine purpose. Giving blesses, strengthens, and cleanses the soul. Righteousness is revealed in how we use what we have, even if it's little. 21st lesson, the prudent avoid danger. Proverbs 22:3 teaches, "The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty." Wisdom doesn't just act, it withdraws when needed. Avoiding evil is not cowardice, it's spiritual intelligence. The wise don't challenge danger out of pride. They anticipate, assess, and avoid. They know there's no need to touch fire to know it burns. Many times the wisest thing we can do is not to be there at all. 22nd lesson, a true friend corrects with love. Proverbs 27:5-6 confront us with wisdom. Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted. In a world where truth often offends, the wise are grateful for the friend who speaks with sincerity. Not all correction is judgment. Sometimes it's a deep act of love. A true friend doesn't say what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Wisdom learns to receive correction as medicine, even when it's bitter, because those who love also warn. 23rd lesson, don't make promises lightly. Proverbs 20:25 teaches, "It is a trap to dedicate something rashly and only later to consider one's vows." In other words, think before committing. Wisdom weighs words carefully. Not every promise comes from the heart. Some are born from impulse or emotion, but every word given holds weight before God. Making promises and not keeping them weakens trust, harms relationships, and dishonors integrity. The wise speak with responsibility. 24th lesson, gentle counsel persuades more than force. Proverbs 25:15 reveals, "Through patience a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone." There's a quiet strength in gentleness. Wisdom doesn't shout, it persuades. It doesn't impose, it convinces. A tender word of counsel has more power than 1,000 commands. The wise don't force their viewpoint. They plant ideas delicately and wait for them to take root. Patience and the right tone open doors that harshness never will. 25th lesson, knowledge is life for the soul. Proverbs 19:8 teaches, "The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper." Seeking wisdom is not vanity, it's spiritual self-love. To know is to grow, and to grow is to live better. The wise don't just collect information, they seek understanding. They nourish their spirit with knowledge that transforms, not that puffs up. Those who understand God's ways find peace amid the chaos. Wisdom gives us direction, and with it, rest. 26th lesson. The lazy will always find excuses. Proverbs 22:13 shows us with irony. The sluggard says, "There's a lion outside, I'll be killed in the public square." In other words, there's always a reason not to act. The wise don't hide behind justifications. They know that life requires effort, brave decisions, and steady discipline. Laziness creates a world of excuses, but no reality. Wisdom calls us to rise and meet our responsibilities, trusting that God gives strength to those who take action. 27th lesson. Don't let envy rule your heart. Proverbs 14:30 declares, "A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones." Envy is a silent disease. It steals gratitude, withers joy, and distorts perception. The wise do not compare themselves to others. They give thanks for what they have and trust in God's timing. Inner peace is born when we stop looking side to side and start looking upward. Wisdom cultivates contentment. 28th lesson. Lies are traps that come at a high price. Proverbs 12:19 tells us, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." Lying may seem like a quick fix, but it always leaves scars. The wise understand that truth, even when it hurts, sets us free. Lies enslave, complicate, and destroy. Every deception is a rope that binds us. God delights in sincere lips because they reflect a pure heart. Wisdom chooses truth even when it's hard because it builds, it restores, it frees. 29th lesson. Righteousness brings eternal reward. Proverbs 21:21 affirms, "Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor." The wise are not guided by what seems easy or beneficial, but by what is right. Choosing righteousness often means going against the flow of the world, but walking in step with the heart of God. Though the righteous may seem forgotten, time reveals their honor. The fruit of an upright life may not be immediate, but it is guaranteed. God never overlooks the one who acts with integrity. 30th lesson. Patience with others is a sign of deep wisdom. Proverbs 19:11 speaks powerfully. "A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense." Being patient doesn't mean accepting injustice passively. It means knowing when and how to respond. The wise are not led by the anger of others because they understand that a soul at peace doesn't need to fight to be right. Being patient with others' mistakes reveals spiritual maturity. Forgiving is not forgetting, it's releasing. And the one who releases is also set free. The book of Proverbs doesn't just teach us personal wisdom, it teaches relational wisdom. Each lesson urges us to live more fully, more generously, and more aligned with God's will. It's not about collecting advice, it's about applying it sincerely. Transformation happens when what we learn becomes how we live. Because the truly wise person isn't the one who knows a lot, but the one who lives what they know. And if you've made it this far, it's because something in your soul longs for that transformation. You've just received 30 spiritual keys that can change how you think, decide, speak, act, and relate. But now comes the most important step, to apply them. Wisdom doesn't grow in theory, it grows through daily action. Which of these lessons are you already living? Which ones challenge you the most? What would you change today if you knew God was watching you with love and patience? Living with wisdom doesn't mean living without problems. It means facing them with a different perspective. The wise don't have it all figured out. They simply know how to respond when things get difficult. The teachings of Proverbs were not written to decorate walls, but to guide real decisions. How do you speak in the midst of conflict? How do you act when no one is watching? How do you choose your friends, your words, your priorities? All of that reveals whether God's wisdom has truly reached you. One of the greatest challenges today is impulsiveness. We react before thinking, give opinions without understanding, and act without measuring the consequences. But the wise, as Proverbs teaches, are slow to speak and quick to listen. Wisdom is found in the small pauses we take before saying something hurtful, judging someone, or making an empty promise. Each pause can become a silent prayer. Each moment of silence can be an act of reverence. The way we manage our time also reflects how much wisdom we carry within. Those who live without purpose waste their days. But those who fear God seek to understand why they were created. The wise set their priorities based on eternal values. They don't let the noise of the world drown out the voice of the Spirit. They don't run after the wind. They walk steadily toward the purpose God has revealed to them. And for that, daily discernment is essential. Wisdom also reveals itself in our relationships. Being wise is not just avoiding conflict, it's building peace. It's knowing when to speak, when to stay silent, when to correct, and when to embrace. Proverbs teaches us that a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. That's not just poetry, it's spiritual strategy. Wise words restore marriages, heal wounds, strengthen children, and prevent wars. How many times have we wished we had spoken less and listened more? Another deep dimension of wisdom is our attitude toward money. Proverbs never condemns wealth, but it always places wisdom above it. The wise do not serve money, they manage it responsibly. They know that one reckless financial decision can destroy years of effort. That's why they seek God even in financial matters. They don't spend to impress nor save out of fear. They honor God with what they have, because they understand that a little with wisdom is worth more than much without purpose. Wisdom is also found in how we respond to trials. The wise don't complain, they reflect. They don't just ask why, but also what for. Adversity reveals who we are and what we truly believe. Proverbs encourages us not to faint in the day of distress, but to strengthen ourselves in the Word. True wisdom is not measured in easy days, but in difficult ones. That's when the lessons we've learned become inner strength. And finally, let's not forget that wisdom is a journey, not a destination. No one ever fully arrives, but we can all walk toward it. The wise don't boast in what they know. They remain open to learning. A teachable heart is fertile ground for the spirit. Those who receive correction grow. Those who seek counsel move forward. And those who rely on the word never walk alone. Wisdom is not reserved for a chosen few. It is for anyone who decides to live with divine intention. You've walked with me through 30 eternal lessons that not only inform but transform. Now the most important question isn't how many you remembered, but how many you willing to live. Will you keep walking according to your own ideas, or will you allow God's wisdom to guide your steps? Because knowing what's right isn't enough. True wisdom is proven in what you do when no one is watching, in the small daily decisions, in the words you choose, and in the attitudes you carry. And you. Which of these lessons touched your heart the most? What decision do you need to make today to begin living with wisdom? Write in the comments, I choose to live with wisdom if this message spoke to you. I would love to know which proverb impacted you the most deeply. If this message blessed you, share the video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so we can keep learning together how to apply God's word to every area of our lives.